Hello everyone, I'm Xiaogan. In this lesson, we'll take a quick look at FName. There isn't really much to say about FName because this feature has actually been covered before. It's commonly used in our Google naming or dynamic material real-time parameters, which is where we use FName. And it doesn't support uppercase writing, is immutable, and cannot be manipulated. But its storage system and characteristics determine that it is very fast to look up and access. Okay, then we'll write a method called FName test. Okay, then we'll declare a FName here. Declaring FName is quite simple. We can just declare it like this. This kind of declaration is also fine. It will convert it for you automatically. Okay, but let's be more standardized. We still declare it this way. Okay, let's have it organized globally here. This code order, then you can see it is a public name available to the world. It is stored in a table to the ones inside, and some of these are not considered unique. There are also some instance numbers, and it is not case sensitive, but the case will still be preserved. Note that it must be enabled when this is turned on. So how is something like this usually enabled? You see, this kind of macro is usually in our UBT, or in our build.cs or target.cs. You just enable the corresponding macro there. Okay, here we have FName. So with FName, we can perform a simple comparison like this. This kind of comparison is very convenient. That is to say, because it does not compare strings character by character, we give it a not test. Then this ball, we can see ball be equal. It is also comparing the two of them. This is definitely false because they are comparing this index without the character, so it is very fast. At the same time, you can also use this compare method. We can see insert. We call it compare. RESULT. Then just point it out directly here. Here we pass in another compare. Okay, then here we can see the comment. If it equals 0, they are equal. If it is not equal to 0, then they are not equal. Okay, then here. Finally, we also have one more thing. Like this, you will build it in the table. If sometimes we just want to check whether we can do it this way. Through this constructor method, you can see there is a find type. Here it is FindAdd. The meaning of this find is actually, that is, if it does not exist, then return the slam blown. If it matches, then if it is this, FindAdd. That is, if not found, then add 1 to it. Obviously, in this case, it could be this slam blown. Let's set a breakpoint for it. We can take a look. Finally, we will set a brain tie at the end. Okay, good. But we are not sure if this exists, because currently it seems we haven't imported this Google. Then let's make it use an only test. Let's take a look. This should be it. It should be there. Okay, so now we'll directly set a breakpoint to test this method. The content should be roughly like this. Actually, it's probably mainly used in many scenarios. It itself is still a relatively lightweight thing, and don't use this FName in network synchronization. We emphasize this again. Don't use FName in network synchronization. When doing network synchronization, you should still pass our F practice. Okay, our breakpoint here has been hit. We can see there are already 2 FNames here. Click to take a look. Right. Actually, you can see that the case is preserved. It's just that it's not case sensitive. See, this part is uppercase, so it's clearly not equal to you. See here, it has this. It found this Paris, so that proves that it exists in our subtitle table. It can also find this only test. Now let's add one. If it doesn't exist, let's see if it will go inside. We'll just break here. Then we'll add another one here. Okay, then I'll just cut it off here. Let's directly start the breakpoint. Okay, now the breakpoint has been hit. We'll skip the earlier part. Then you will notice that it doesn't have it, right? It simply doesn't have this thing at all. It won't be added in. Okay, that's all for our brief introduction to FName. If you are very interested in what its underlying structure is, look up some articles yourself, or some underlying source code, etc. As for us, later on, we will mainly use FName. In which places? Mainly this FName and our game tag have some coordination and linkage. We will discuss it in game tag. Okay, that's all for our FName. Thank you, everyone.